Welcome to Okanagan Lavender and Herb Farm. Today we're going to look at one of the most underappreciated plants in your garden, the common dandelion. So it's an amazing plant for us and also for the bees. Right now the dandelions are opening everywhere and the bees are collecting pollen from them. They're a very important source of food for pollinators, so don't mow them. Let the bees gather their pollen. We're going to pick some dandelions today and show you a few things to do with them up at the classroom in the shop. So when we're picking our dandelions, we're picking them for different purposes. And the first thing I'm going to pick them for is I'm going to make a beautiful green salad tonight with dandelion greens in it. And if you look at this one here, you see there's no blooms on it yet. These are the kind of greens that I want to pick. So I'm just going to pluck them off and set them aside. These are full of potassium, vitamins, minerals, and great digestive aids. So very nice spring tonic for your system. So there's only 2 of us having dinner tonight. I'm just going to take enough to toss into our salad. There we go. Put them aside. The other thing we're going to pick the dandelions for is to make an infused oil, and I'm also going to remind you how to make a flower crown. Dandelion flower crowns are great fun to make, fun for kids, and so I'm just going to pluck the flowers and I'm going to make sure that I take the stem with them. So you don't have to worry about picking too many of your dandelions. They grow everywhere. Some plants you have to be very careful with when you're picking because they might be on the watch list for an endangered species, but this is not. The one thing you need to be careful of with dandelions is you don't want to pick dandelions anywhere where they're spraying. So don't go into like a park or a schoolyard that's covered in dandelions unless you know that it's not being sprayed. So nothing here, we don't use any sprays at our farm, so we can pick anything that we like. So sometimes when you're in the garden, you're picking one thing and you're surprised when you find another that you hadn't noticed. So I found some violas, and violas are a beautiful little flower for sensitive skin conditions. Great for eczema. And so they're going to be a really nice addition to our herbal oil, and I'm just going to pluck those ones. We have these all over the farm, but those are the first little bunch I've found here. So I've got my basket ready with my herbs, and we're going to go up to the classroom and show you how to make a few things. Come on up. So here we are back in the classroom with our basket that we picked from the garden. So we have the dandelion greens I'm going to use in my salad tonight at dinner. We've got the dandelion tops that we picked. We're going to do an infused oil, and I'll show you how to do a flower crown. And then we've got some violas that we're going to just put in with our dandelion oil because it'll make it a really beautiful oil for my skin. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is a little flower crown. It's such a fun thing to do with kids, and dandelions are in everybody's yards, so we're just going to pull the stem open, just like that, and then you take another flower and put it through, and do that again. So it's just threading one flower through another. So you just want to add enough flowers that you can make a crown for your head. And we're just going to thread it back through the beginning one. And there's a crown. I'm going to pull out the dandelion greens, and these are what I'm going to use tonight in my salad. I'm going to use them fresh.
If you wanted to, if you were having sauteed mushrooms and onions, you could just, right when you took them off the skillet, just chop these on your dish and it'll be delicious. So dandelion greens, really good for your digestive system and full of vitamins. And now this is kind of the fun part about dandelions. So dandelions are really, really good for easing muscle pain. And as a gardener, I have lots of muscle pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, I don't want very much stem. I'm going to grab the flowers that have just a bit of stem, pack my little mason jar with them. Now, these are fresh flowers, so when I put my oil on them, I'm not going to put a sealed lid on it. I'm just going to use cheesecloth. So I have room for a couple more. Oh, they're so soft. Now what I have here is some sunflower oil, and I really like to use sunflower oil. It's got a long shelf life. It's very easily absorbed by your skin. Has nice glide if you wanted to use this as a massage oil. So I'm just going to make sure all my flowers are covered. So they're nice. I've got a spoon here. I can just make sure they're all packed down in the oil. Then I have a piece of cheesecloth. So if you didn't have cheesecloth, you could use a piece of muslin. You could use an old tea towel that was clean and just cut a piece of it. And then I'm just going to take the ring and I'm going to cover my jar. So if you were like me and you had something else in the garden that you wanted to add to this, like my violas, I can just add them on top. Now, if you wanted to add calendula or marigold to this, that would be another really good choice. So I'm going to get all those violas. So violas are very soothing for sensitive skin. For people that have eczema or psoriasis, violas make a nice oil for them. So I've just used my spoon to tuck everything under the oil. Cover it up, and then I'm just going to let it sit for 2 weeks. It's going to absorb all the properties of the dandelions, and then I'm going to strain it out. And I'm going to have a really nice base to do a massage oil for achy muscles. So I actually made an oil a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just going to show you what your oil would look like if you had strained this. So I just used a sieve, strained out my oil, and what I've done is I've measured 15 mils, which is 1 tablespoon, because when you're using essential oils, a really good rule of thumb is 15 mils of a carrier oil, which is what our vegetable-based oil is, and 5 drops of essential oil. You don't have to add essential oil, but as a gardener, I often have achy knees, and I love to use our lavender essential oil in my muscle rubs. So lavender and dandelions are both anti-inflammatory. So I'm just going to add 5 drops. Of lavender to my dandelion oil. If another oil that you could add and would be very nice is rosemary or ylang ylang. Those are both really good ones too. So now I have this lovely little muscle rub, and I even get, when I'm doing a lot of weeding in the spring, I get a lot of achy fingers. So it's just a nice oil. If you're sitting watching a show at night, just do a little massage on your fingers. Let it work its magic. That's what we love about plants. And if you want more ideas about what plants you can use that are fairly common, one of my favorite authors is James Wong. This is his book, Grow Your Own Drugs, for all sorts of ways to support your well-being. So whether you have the flu or a cold, he has lots of ideas for you. So that's a great resource for you. I know that the library here in Kelowna has it, but you can get that book through one of your bookstores. I'm just going to pour my oil into this. Is just a little bottle that I have that I like to use over and over. So when it's empty, I just run it through my dishwasher. I love the little dropper cap on it because you can just apply what you need. So a little puddle in your pond and massage those aches and pains away. Thanks for joining us today at Workshop Wednesday at Okanagan Lavender and Herb Farm and for exploring the humble dandelion with us today. It is not a plant that we use in our products here, but it is a great one to share with people. So head outside today or tomorrow, make a flower crown with your children or grandchildren. Always fun to do. We're going to take dandelion greens that we picked from plants that hadn't bloomed yet to enjoy in a salad tonight. And we showed you how to do a beautiful infused dandelion oil that will be great for aching muscles. And we hope you enjoyed the workshop. Come back again next Wednesday. We'll teach you something new. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them below. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.